Hello, we continue our journey. It's a new week and we're on to Monday, and it is the last of the bottom row of our cross diagram that we've got here. And we've done all of Lent. We started on Ash Wednesday, done all of Lent, done Holy Week and Easter, and now we're doing Easter Tide, and we go all the way around the cross and we're to the very top where we'll do Pentecost Sunday. As we journey through the Gospels, we have done John and John and Luke, and now we are on Mark. We are on Mark chapter 5 today. We really felt the pace of Mark's Gospel in chapters 1 to 3. Yesterday, Jesus sat down for the first time, really, and spoke to the people. Although he did get itchy feet and went into the boat and calmed the storm. Let's see what Jesus gets up to today in Mark chapter 5. We're reading from the Contemporary English Version. Jesus and his disciples crossed Lake Galilee and came to shore near the town of Gerasa. When he was getting out of the boat, a man with an evil spirit quickly ran to him from the graveyard where he had been living. No one was able to tie the man up any more, not even with a chain. He had often been put in chains and leg irons, but he broke the chains and smashed the leg irons, and no one could control him. Night and day he was in the graveyard or on the hills, yelling and cutting himself with the stones. When the man saw Jesus in the distance, he ran up to him and knelt down. He shouted, "Jesus, Son of God in heaven, what do you want with me? Promise me in God's name that you won't torture me." The man said this because Jesus had already told the evil spirit to come out of him. Jesus asked, "What is your name?" The man answered, "My name is Lots, because I have lots of evil spirits." He then begged Jesus not to send them away. Over on the hillside, a large herd of pigs was feeding, so the evil spirits begged Jesus, "Send us into those pigs, let us go into them." Jesus let them go, and they went out of the man and into the pigs, and the whole herd of about 2,000 pigs rushed down the steep bank into the lake and drowned. The men taking care of the pigs ran to the town and the farms to spread the news. Then the people came out to see what had happened. When they came to Jesus, they saw the man who had once been full of demons. He was sitting there with his clothes on and in a right mind, and they were terrified. Everyone who had seen what had happened told about the man and the pigs. Then the people started begging Jesus to leave their part of the country. When Jesus was getting into the boat, the man begged to go with him, but Jesus would not let him. Instead, he said, "Go to your family and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how good he has been to you." The man went away into the region near the 10 cities known as the Decapolis and began telling everyone how much Jesus had done for him. Everyone who heard what had happened was amazed. Once again, Jesus got into the boat and crossed Lake Galilee. Then, as he stood on the shore, a large crowd gathered around him. The person in charge of the Jewish meeting place was also there. His name was Jairus. And when he saw Jesus, he went over to him. He knelt at Jesus' feet and started begging him for help. He said, "My daughter is about to die. Please come and touch her so she will get well and live." Jesus went with Jairus. Many people followed along and kept crowding around. In the crowd was a woman who had been bleeding for 12 years. She'd gone to many doctors and they had not done anything except cause her a lot of pain. She'd paid them all the money she had, but instead of getting better, she only got worse. The woman had heard about Jesus, so she came up behind him in the crowd and barely touched his clothes. She had said to herself, "If I can just touch his clothes, I will get well." As soon as she touched them, her bleeding stopped, and she knew that she was well. At that moment, Jesus felt power go out from him. He turned to the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" His disciples said to him, "Look at all these people crowding around you. How can you ask who touched you?" But Jesus turned to see who had touched him. The woman knew what had happened to her. She came shaking with fear and knelt down in front of Jesus. Then she told him the whole story. Jesus said to the woman, "You are now well because of your faith. May God give you peace. You are healed, and you will no longer be in pain." While Jesus was still speaking, some men came from Jairus' home and said, "Your daughter has died. Why bother the teacher anymore?" Jesus heard what they said, and he said to Jairus, "Don't worry, just have faith." Jesus did not let anyone go with him except Peter and the two brothers, James and John. They went home with Jairus and saw the people crying and making a lot of noise. Then Jesus went inside and said to them, "Why are you crying and carrying on like this? The child isn't dead, she's just sleeping." But the people laughed at him. After Jesus had sent them all out of the house, he took the girl's father and mother and his 3 disciples and went to where she was. He took the 12-year-old girl by the hand and said, Talitha kum, which means, little girl, get up. The girl got right up and started walking around. Do love that story wherever it comes. The way that Jairus comes, this man who's a man of the synagogue, a leader of the synagogue, for him to come to Jesus was just a huge risk, as everybody in the synagogue leaders were against Jesus. And for him to come to Jesus must have taken such courage. And then just as Jesus has come on, I imagine Jairus' heart must have been beating just so hard as he'd done this in front of everybody, and then taking that great courage, and then this woman comes and is healed, and Jesus stops, and Jairus is. His heart must have sunk. Come on, you come into my house. This is my moment. I've asked you. You come into me. But this woman is dealt with and is healed and is loved and cared for by Jesus. And then the people come and say it's too late. And Jairus's stomach must have just gone through the floor. And I really do feel for that moment. But Jesus says he realizes what the situation is and says, "Don't worry, don't worry, just have faith." And then they go, and the way that they laugh at Jesus when he goes into the house, that is a bit that always gets to my heart. I think the way that Jesus says, "Don't worry, she's just sleeping," and the people laugh at him. But Jesus had the last laugh, didn't he? And I love the way that he says so gently, "Talitha kum," little girl, get up. And the girl got right up and started walking around. Really beautiful story. Such a powerful story in the middle of Mark's Gospel here. So that's Mark chapter 5. Join me tomorrow when we hit Mark chapter 6, and we'll see what happens then. Have a really good day today. All the very best. God bless. Bye bye.